And we've got a heat of the Wyfold Challenge Cup. Tideway Scullers School B on the Berkshire station, and London Rowing Club on the Buckinghamshire station. So a Tideway rivalry here. Tideway Scullers v London Rowing Club. Obviously London Rowing Club's top crew in this event.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had a really competitive London Rowing Club crew entered into either the Brit, the Wyfold or the Thames. And this year might be their year in terms of getting back where they belong on the weekends of Henley. You can see here they're already out to clear water ahead of Tideway Scullers B.
That's an incredible start there from the London crew. Literally straight off the blocks, open water or clear water, moving really well as they move up.
That's what it's all about at Henley, right, Mark? I mean, we said this before. Get out nice and fast, get control of the race, and then you can dictate the narrative. No one writes those chapters for you.
See them moving really well. And there's been, as you said, there's been so much change at London Rowing Club. Coaches, facilities, and it's been a while since we've seen them really perform at Henley. So this is great to see them back because they are one of the huge clubs in the country.
Exactly. And all four of these rowers have obviously been part of the first 8 contingent throughout the year, and now split out into the Cox's 4 for the Wyfold Challenge Cup. And looking like they might be one of the front runners. I mean, Tideway Scullers have not gone away. There's only probably a length of clear water there. But I think London have got control of this race. If you just look at those guys, they just look a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more composure.
And that damage was all done in the first 500 metres. The way they went off the start, got into their rhythm, allowed them to dictate the race, look back at their fellow competitors. Like I said, Tideway Scullers haven't gone away. They've stayed at that margin. It'd be interesting to see what happens over the next couple hundred metres.
Yeah, there's astonishing depth in the Tideway Scullers squad this year on the club side. They've had a lot of the students who would have gone to row, apply their trade in the US at university, have stayed in the UK, of course, and have chosen to compete for Tideway Scullers. And so that's why they have so much depth, so much strength across the events at club level here at the Henley Royal Regatta. But London sending out an early message to some of their other competitors in the Wyfold. I think the Wyfold's another one this year that's totally open. There's 2 or 3 crews who, in my mind, look like the front runners, but it could be any one of probably 6 or 7 who end up winning this event.
Just obviously training on the Tideway, with obviously Hammersmith Bridge being shut, you know, the impact it would have had on those crews below, you know, Hammersmith Bridge, not being able to go right the way up as they would love to, and the ones above who had the stretch up to Richmond. So, you know, they wouldn't have seen each other as much as they would have normally seen each other on the Tideway.
Yeah, exactly. London are a punch-based club, and Tideway are obviously Chiswick, so they probably won't have had that much interaction over the season. But I'm sure they'll have done the longer miles in the erg to compensate for the lack of water time.
But 2 experienced crews, majority of the athletes, 80% of these athletes have all competed at Henley before, so they've been through that kind of understanding what the regatta's about, the magnitude of opening rounds. But it looks like London Rowing Club are making best use.
They are remarkably resilient people, club rowers, because they have to balance what is, to most normal people, a full-time training schedule. So, you know, upwards of 10 sessions a week alongside a full-time job in whatever sort of their chosen profession is, plus potentially family commitments, social commitments. They have to do all of that, and it's all, the accountability falls on them. You know, they don't have the bubble of insulation that a student or a junior program would have. So club athletes, I have the utmost respect for them. It's a remarkable achievement to even get to the start line ahead.
It's not just that commitment, John, it's the weekends as well. You know, how precious weekends are, and they're racing, you know, various regattas like Marlow, the Met. But it's also part of that social interaction, isn't it? The bond you make with your fellow kind of competitors or athletes. So as London Rowing Club come up to the finish, a great performance in their opening round of the Wyfold Challenge Cup as they beat Tideway Scullers School B and progress on to Thursday's racing.